We'll hear from Giulio. He is the truffle hunter. So if you want to check him out further, he has a website, giuliothetrufflehunter.com. He is on Instagram. And then if you are able to go to Italy when everything opens back up, you can email him and schedule a truffle hunting tour, which I highly recommend. 4 years ago, my son and I, we met Giulio in Florence, Italy, and he lives outside of the city of Firenze in Bagnoli au Ripolle. These are his forests where the truffles grow. And this is Ada, the dog that does truffle hunting. So they don't use pigs anymore because pigs will bite off your fingers. Here's a pamphlet about truffles that Giulio gave us. So first he taught us about truffles, and then he took us into the forest. We found the truffles, and then he made us the 3-course meal using the truffles. There's been a lot of other guests that have visited Giulio, including James Gunn, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy, Ari and Cien from The Bachelor, and Giulio was actually featured on an episode of The Bachelor. So that was one of their dates, as they went truffle hunting with Giulio, and you can see his dogs, Ada and Magna. Chef Richard Blaise, who actually won Top Chef All-Stars, he came and visited Giulio. Actress Rebel Wilson, she's known for Pitch Perfect, but she's a comedian and she's in other things too. She did an episode on BBC with Giulio.
Yeah.
And Giulio makes truffle honey, truffle oil. I've seen and had those, and they're amazing. And then he just started a contract where they're making truffle cheese. And he's been working on his own show, which will come out later this year on Amazon Prime.
Yes, Laura.
All right.
End of the year, we hope.
Perfect. And then now he's coming to see us.
On board to all of you. I am very excited to assist Chef Laura in around the truffle market and around the truffle educational conversation. This argument is an argument that we can speak for years, not just for 1 hour. So when Laura told me, Giulio, the webinar will be around 30 minutes, 1 hour, I said, oh my God, it's very difficult in such a little time arrive to explain you not all, but at least the most important things. So I hope, like yesterday, that all your students like the conversation today. And after that, Laura, in case we need to plan definitely other lesson, because the arguments are quite illimited. And I know that for an American future chef, the idea to have a strong, knowledgeable in this field, in this market, is extremely interesting and important, because in all over the restaurants in the world or in hotel, truffle is definitely in any important menu. Okay, guys, so I don't know, we need to tell them in 1 minute the history of how I become a truffle hunter. Laura, what do you think? They will be happy.
Yeah, that sounds great, because normally you have to be born into truffle hunting. So Giulio has a special.
Yeah. In my country, in France, in Italy, in France, we suppose the two most important country for truffles. In generally, the truffle hunter are locally family, and the activities is transmitted by generation, father to the son or father to the daughter. You know, I just become a truffle hunter at the age of 40 years old, when I have the perception that truffle was an argument that nobody know quite nothing. And why I arrive at that point? Because before, after being manager of an important restaurant in Milano, for love, I become husband. I married a Florentine lady, so I decided to come here in Florence and lose my job. And after a couple of years, I have the chance, with the help of my family, to open, to transform a property in a bed and breakfast. So I decided to open the first bed and breakfast specializing in wine and food experience. So in Italy, I am also considered the father of the father of the experience. And And in that 10 years of experience, all my client was American. And the last question was, after a few days, guys, what about truffles? And everybody just told me, Giulio, we eat it occasionally, but we don't know really nothing. And so after the reception, after the 11th September, I decided to change, to take a break. And the idea to turn my bed and breakfast in a truffle home and become an expert truffle hunter was very strong. And at the end, as I am a lion, after 2 years, I arrived to complete this program, this project. And in the 2004, I opened my web and I became the first Italian truffle hunter that was offering truffle experience. And the rest is history. Allora, for all you guys, I will introduce in this truffle class lesson 6 important arguments. At the end of any of that argument, you are allowed to enter and to ask me question if Laura is okay. The first question that seems a stupid question, but is not, is what is a truffle?
I think it's like, well, I googled it and it came up with like as a mushroom. So
please don't use Google, we are watching you.
but then I saw other things and it came out as chocolate, so yeah.
So the chocolate is it looks like the real thing, but the real thing, you're right, is the type of mushroom. Good job, Jose.
Brava. It's a mushroom. And as you probably know, in our planet, we have 2 principal big group of mushroom. The first big group are mushrooms that grow up the soil. In US, you have the morel, the chanterelle, that Laura, I know that she cook. In Italy, we have the famous porcini. In Japan, we have the sirtaki. And more. There are around 200 varieties of mushroom that grow up the soil that human people eat it. Second group, we have a group of mushroom that grow under the soil. That are our friend truffles. In Italy, the most common varieties are 6. 2 white truffles and 4 black. Later we will enter in the argument. We will show you the poster of these 6 truffles and we will speak about all these difference. So a truffle is a mushroom that live in a sort of symbiotic life under different typology of trees. You must know, guys, that without the help of the trees, the truffle will be not able to live. And somebody of you know why this is possible? Why truffle must live in a sort of symbiotic life with trees? Do you have an idea? Some of you who want to win the first truffles today?
I think my guess is that truffles provide nutrients and the trees provide like food or water to the truffles or something like that.
Bravo, Christian. Correct. Bravo. One truffle point. And it's exactly like that. If today I don't have it, a truffle with a visible roots. This is my mistake. But in any case, this is a truffles, a black summer truffles find this morning. If we put these truffles, and of course all the truffles, under a microscope, we will immediately see how many roots they are attached. Sometimes we can see visible roots when they are big, but it's more complicated. In any case, this is the proof that any single truffles in any season is only able to absorb little drop of water from their roots. The roots in Italian language are named ife. Which is the problem of the truffle? The problem of the truffle that he cannot make the photosynthesis process. So he is not able to transform the water in food element. So this is why he asked help to the trees. And this typology of trees, oak and pine, accepted this symbiosis relationship. In generally, they prefer, the trees prefer that the truffle could be attached in generally at the end part of the roots of the trees. And so during that symbiotic life, all the little drop of water that the truffle arrive to absorb are immediately by roots transmitted to the trees. The trees make the photosynthesis process, couple of hours. And after this process, to thanks these extra activities, the trees retransmit back to the truffles part of the nutriment for the life. So is a perfectly symbiotic life. When I start to hunt, I immediately noted how our dogs are essential important. My first dog that are here, later I will show you. Today my two dogs are in my room. Was a Lagotto Romagnolo, this priest variety that in Italy we use for hunting truffles. And my teacher told me, Giulio, for the job that you want to do, for the fact that you want to plan immediately experience, it will be really better that we buy a truffle expert dog. It will be a strong help. And so I noted when Ed arrived from Siena, I take more than 1 year to show them all the infinity area that we was using to go hunting. And Edda slowly started to understand and to memorize all that area. And in particular, I start to note that Edda was memorizing in particular the trees where the last time that he was there, we have find truffles. So I understand that this dog hunt with really an intelligent capacity to be able to come back in the same area and to check under the same trees, because after 15 years now I can tell to all of you that for a miracle, in generally, truffle continue to regrow under the same trees. So in any piece of forest that every day we hunt, we can pass 1,000 trees, but in general, truffles are always under the same 5 to 10. The group of trees more important in our country are oak, quercia in Italian language, with their 12 subgroup of oak. All of the different subgroup have a different form of leaves. So from the leaves, we can understand which exactly typology of oak it is. The second group are the pine. Pine are 2. So in any season, as in Italy, we are so lucky, we really hunt quite 12 months a year. In reality, we have only a little break in the month of May. And this is a very romantic history that I like to tell to all of you, because Giulio is a middle-aged romantic Italian gentleman. And when I take my first years of class, in Italy, to become a truffle hunter, you need to obtain a license. You must be inscribed at a school of truffles. And our teacher remember us, guys, remember that in Italy, you can't hunt, it's illegal go hunting truffles in the month of May. And my question was, sorry, teacher, but which truffle grow in the month of May? And the answer was that we don't have any truffles. And my question was, why we cannot go in the forest if we don't have truffles? And he told me, how is your name? My name is Giulio Benuzzi. This is a good question. The answer is like that. May, and in general also in your beautiful country, is the most important month for the mama wild animal to finally bring the kids outside the cave and to show them the risk of the life. In general, the wild animal born at the end of the winter, And in May, they have 3-4 months, so they are able finally to walk. So in Italy, our police ranger department that control our activities pretend that human people cannot disturb the life of the mama, wild animal, and the baby in this particularly difficult moment. So for this reason, we can hunt. And probably nature, that is intelligent, understand that fact and decided to not give the possibility to any truffle to push out, to not have a truffle hunter in the forest that disturb their life. Okay, allora, now we know what is a truffles. We know that truffle live in a sort of symbiotic relationship with a different typology of trees. Now we need to speak about the life of a truffle. Somebody of you guys have an idea of how is the life of a truffles?
I'm not sure, but I think it's probably, since it's like a fungus or a mushroom, I think it's probably similar to the ones that grow above ground.
Grazie, Christian. There is somebody else in the group of the students that want to give us an opinion?
You said not to use Google, so I don't know.
What he said, sorry?
She said, you said she can't use Google, so she doesn't know.
Va bene, allora I will give you an idea about that, you know. What is important to know, the life of a truffle. The first spore of a truffle grow very faster in 24, 48 hours, okay? Well, maybe we can focus how is the way, brava Laura. Allora, the first spore of a truffle take 24, 48 hours to grow. And what is important to understand, in which way, how is possible that the spore grow? We have two principal possibilities. The first possibility is by the fact that our Italian association sprang an important article last year that was saying that around 30, 35, 40% of the truffle that grow naturally in our country are eaten by wild animals. In Italy and in Europe, the wild animals that eat truffle, that love to eat truffles, are deer and wild boar. At that point, what you must know that one of the most important law that ranger pretend that we truffle hunter we must respect is the law that said that in Italy an official truffle hunter with license cannot hunt before the brightness of the sun, and he must stop the hunting 1 hour before the sunset. At the beginning, I was really surprised about that law, and I was not understand why. Again, the Ranger Association pretend that we truffle hunter, we give respect to the wild animal, in particularly in the breakfast moment and in the dinner moment. And as everybody know, the wild animal in generally used to have breakfast before the brightness of the sun and the dinner before the sunset. Allora, we realize that from one part we have the obligation to respect that law, but from the other part, when we start our hunt and we enter early in the forest, every day we noted animal that have eat our truffle. We see just the true open. If it's a big, that was a huge truffles. If it is a little true, that is a little truffles. And at the beginning, you become angry because you don't accept it. You say, oh my God, every day I lose money. Every day I lose maybe 5, 10, 15 or more truffles. After slowly, you realize that this in reality is an important help for the nature, because you must understand that any wild animal or deer that eat a truffles here under these trees, after have hunt and eat, the instinct of the animal is run away, and he will run for miles. So after 2 hours, after the digestion, that animal that have eat a truffle here will split the spore of that truffle in a distance of 5-10 miles. And in that exactly point where it will split out the spore, a new family of truffle will regrow. So this is a beautiful example of how nature is intelligent. Nature always rebalance with a positive fact and eventually negative fact. This is what we human people will never do, because or we do something good or we do a mistake. All right, this is why that we must accept it, that the wild animal must continue to eat truffle, because without that help, our Italian association have calculated that just in 5 years, we will losing the 40-50% of the totally truffle that grow in our planet. Okay, all right, this is the first way how the spore of truffle are reproduced. The second fact is by the fact that another important part, around 20-25% of the truffle that grow naturally in any season, are found by nobody. No truffle hunter and not wild animal find them. And what's mean that after they born, they live, they become aged and mature, and after they dead. And when they dead, they go in decomposition. They explode, and from a truffle that explodes, a new spore is putting close. So by a truffle that nobody finds, regrow a new family of truffles. So these are the two principal way in how the spore of a truffle born. After that, after 48 hours that the spore is born, any single truffle needed at least 3 next months, around 12 weeks, to complete the size and the maturation smell. Imagine that a truffle could have a similar life to a fruit like a banana. A truffle is an unripened green banana that stay 3 months covered under the soil before become yellow, before become mature. In the moment that the maturation is completely, the gas come in surface, and we truffle hunter, with our dog, we start to find them. At that point, any single truffle resists fresh only 2 weeks. This is the little fork that we have to find them, to make a classification, to try to sell, and you guys to use it and eat it. So it's really a short moment. There are questions?
Yeah. So it's what you said was that it's important that the ecosystem kind of works with the truffles itself, right? In order to sustain its lifespan, life cycle.
Thank you, Gerardo. Of course. It's in the cycle of the life.
Yep. And then Michael wants to know, if you put truffles in the freezer, will they last longer?
Yeah, of course, you block the life of the truffle if you put in the freezer. What you, future chef, must know, that is a huge mistake, putting truffles in the fridge. As the composition of a truffle, more than the 75% are water element. And so if you put truffle in the frozen, in the frozen part is a mistake, because after it will become very difficult to reuse it.
Janet wants to know, do truffle hunting dogs have a special diet?
Yes. Papa with truffles every day. Of course, there are companies with different name, and the food is a dry food, little, medium, or big, that can have different naturally aroma, and that's it. Of course, we enter. We suggest in our truffle school, training truffle school, to give a piece of an entire little truffle to your truffle dog anytime that she find a truffles. That's because this dog loves to eat truffles more than all the other animal. So it's good and important sometimes give them a pleasure to eat it, because if they lose the idea of how they are good, maybe they will stop to hunt. And this is what we don't want.
Thank you. Leslie wants to know, when you touch a truffle, how does it feel?
Is a particular emotion that now, of course, I lose a little bit, because after 15 years of research, we can say that truffle have two different aspects. The four black have a strong skin, so they seems a sort of moonstone, very solid. And the white truffle have really a different taste, a different form, and they are more delicate. The skin is more thick, and we call it seems a baby skin, very soft. And there is a reason about that. All the black truffles, the principal three, black summer, black autumn, and black winter, they grow in generally under very stony and deep soil. This is one of the elements important of our Italian substrate country. Everybody knows that inside the stone there are the minerals that are essentially important, not only for the truffle, but also for wine and any organic production. I don't know if your student have visited Sonoma or Napa Valley, and the first time that you go there, you are surprised for the quantity of stones that spray all the vineyard. So the white truffle have a more delicate skin, because in general they grow under sandy soil. So sandy is very soft. So in nature don't need to protect the outside part of the skin of a white truffle, because they know that they grow in sandy soil. And this, for example, is why in generally white truffles are the truffle that can become more bigger, because when they grow up and they expand, they don't find any resistance. So occasionally they can be big as a kilos or a kilos 0.5, that is more than a pound, than 2 pounds. And in the other part, the black truffles are never more bigger than 400 or 500 grams. So we can say the dimension of a melon, because they live in a very compact stony soil, and when they want to grow up, they find a lot of resistance. And in generally, after the size of a tennis ball, they completely become irregular in the form, because they don't arrive to expand in the same process.
All right. Janet wants to know, can you use wild boars for truffle hunting since they eat the truffles?
No. Cioè, in reality, will be possible. The problem that is the same question if we can said we can use a shark to fish in the ocean. Theoretically, yes, but in practically, it's not possible. In the past, human people, also in Italy until 1970, we was using the pig that are parent of the wild boar. And after the 1973, in Italy become, and in all Europe, first in Italy, become illegal, as the ranger noted that the pig was destroying the soil because it was digging too strong, and often the pig arriving to eat part of the principal roots, causing them to dry. So with a lot of trouble and question and problem, the 1973 became illegal to hunt with pig, and everybody turn in dogs, and of course in hunting dogs. Only in France, still now, they continue to use pig, but not the big one, but the little one. So they introduce a law that give the possibility to the French truffle hunter to use pig no more big of 8 kilos of weight.
Thank you, Giulio. Victoria wants to know, what is the best meal to eat with truffles?
Allora, Victoria, when I will come in US, hoping next year, I will come to you, and I hope you will cook for me the best dish with truffles possible. No, in reality, there are infinity recipes. I don't want to substitute Laura, as I am not a professional chef. I am only a family cookers, I like to be named. We truffle hunter, we have a cup of dish that for us are fundamental, important, and can represent our life. I write 2 songs dedicate at these 2 dish. Today will be not possible. Maybe in the next lesson, if it's possible, I would like to give you the pleasure to listen these 2 songs. One is named Truffles on My Eggs, and the second one is named My Bean Soup. These, in reality, are the basic food that an Italian truffle hunter eats early in the morning, in summer the truffle with eggs, and in winter when it's cold, the bean soup. Your students are younger, but probably if they ask in their family, to the mama, to the papa, ask to your parents to show you a piece of cartoon of, you remember Popeye? Pa 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 ooh ooh. It was the mariner that was eating the spinach to become strong.
Oh, yes, Popeye.
Popeye. I don't know if your student watch still now this cartoon. Why I explain you that? Because Popeye was a thin man that was obliged to open the box of spinach, eating them to become a strong person. And we hunter, we are like Popeye. We must eat truffle with eggs in summer, early in the morning, to be able to run in the forest. And in winter, when it's colder, and we wake up at 4 o'clock, we need to charming with something. And we love to cook a bean soup that boil 8 hours in our fire kitchen, and that is the must food that I offer to any visitor that book my experience in winter. And people eat it the plate, because is a parent of the cannellini named Zolfino. Zolfino. It's a very difficult and rare smoky beans that grow in a few regions in Italy. Va bene, allora, now we know what is a truffle. We know the symbiotic relationship with the trees. We know the life of a truffle. And we know that in these last 2 weeks of life, a truffle change aroma. Why? Because any next day, any single truffle lose part of its liquid element. So, if you take a comparison between the life of a banana and a life of a truffles, you can say that they have a parallel life. A banana have a banana have 3 steps in his life. First step is unripening, is green. If we touch an unripening green banana, is stony. After a few days, she become yellow. And if we touch a yellow banana, is soft. And if we smell, it has a nice smell, of course, if you like banana. And after another week, it become brown black. It start to have a bad aroma. And if you touch, is spongy, squishy. Truffle, guys, have the exactly same life. A truffle from 1 day to 5 days, to day number 5 is unripening. So if we touch, is stony. From day number 5 to day number 10, it become perfectly soft, like a perfect avocado when you go to buy in the markets. And from day number 10 to day number 15, they become completely spongy and squishy. All right, at the end, which are the best truffle that we must buy and eat it? Not too unripening, that means too stony. Not too spongy, that means too aged. But truffle from 5 to 10 days that they are soft. Arigato. Va bene? Allora, now we know that the way to recognize the freshness of a truffle is by touching. And this is what you must do when you go to buy truffle. You must have a pair of glue, or in the restaurant, ask them to show you the truffles, as we do when we want to eat a T-bones or we want to order an important fish. It's something that in general nobody knows, but that will help you a lot. Okay, we start from the white. The first up on the left, named Bianco Pregiato, is the most rare important truffle in the world. It grows only in Italy, in Croatia, and a little part of France. There is also a second quality that grows in Romania. Okay, this one, that Brava, Bianco Pregiato, the first one on the left. This is the symbol of the luxury product in the world entire, and is extremely expensive. Can arrive to cost in US from 4,000 to 6,000 euros or dollar kilos. Of course, we have different price. After that, I will talk to you. I will tell to you. All right, why is so expensive? It's rare, very rare to be found, and grow just in few little parts in the world. Why that? Because this mushroom need a combination of facts very difficult to be able to be present all together. It need a particularly soil with important elements, minerals. It like river clean. Now we know human people have dusty all the river of the world, so also in Italy it's very difficult to find a transparent, clear river. He live in symbiosis with a couple of trees, very rare. The most important is the nuts. And he need rain in spring times, at the end of the summer. He doesn't like hot sun in summer. So it is very, very, very complicated. If we see the color inside the glebe, is called in Italy, it seems a little bit orange. In reality, is a light brown. The second white truffle that is down there, named Marzuolo, no Nerolicio, ecco, this one, bravo, is parent of the Bianco Pregiato, is really more easy to be found, is more cheaper, can cost no more than 800 kilos, and he has a particularly wild garlic smell. I forgot to tell you, the Bianco Pregiato, the pickup season is mid-September, end of December. And the Marzuolo, the second, the parents, the pickup season is February, April. So you see, they live in two different completely seasons. Why the Marzuolo have a wild garlic smell? You must know, guys, that these truffles is influenced a lot in his last moment of maturation by the smell of the wild garlic plant. As the wild garlic plant in nature is attracted by the original smell of these truffles, and in generally he grow up the truffles, and in just a couple weeks the smell of the wild garlic is absorbed by these truffles. So this is one of the only moments in the year that I can understand before my training dog if under these trees there could be truffle, because if I see wild garlic plant, I immediately check back. Okay. As you can see, these two white truffle have two color completely different side. The Bianco Pregiato is a dark, light color. The Marzuolo is a darker color, you see. Allora, in Italy, we used to say, for white truffle, more the inside pulp is light colored, better the quality is, okay? Because the Bianco Pregiato is more light than the Marzuolo. For the black truffle is completely the opposite. Ora, we can start by this one, brava, Scorzone, that is the black summer truffles that grow from end of May to mid of September. It's the most common truffle that grow in Europe, also in US. In US, you can hunt the black summer truffles in Oregon, in Australia, grow, in all Europe, Italy, France, Germany, Spain, Croatia, blah, blah, blah. It's the most common truffle. And inside, the pulp is light brown. The price of this truffle is around 300 euros per kilos. Second truffle is the black autumn, is this back, sorry, yes, under the Scorzone. Is named Invernale, but is a mistake. This in reality is Uncinatum. And he grow from September to November. He has a medium mushroom smell. Is a better truffle quality than the black summer. He costs a little bit more, around 600-700 euros. And the pulp inside is a medium brown. Finally, we have the third one, the best one, that is up, Laura, the black winter, Nero Pregiato. This is really excellent truffles. In my opinion, with the white truffle are the two best truffle that we have in the world. This truffle is very famous in France, in the Périgord. In this part of mountain, they have a particular mineral that releases the best flavor to these truffles. In Italy, this truffle grow in Umbria, and in a famous country city named Orcia, also here in Tuscany. And the particularity is the pickup season is November, February, so grow when it's colder. And the color inside is black. He is black from the beginning to the end of his life. So in Italy, we used to tell guys, for black truffles, more the inside pulp is dark, better the quality is. Truffle number 1 in the heat is the black winter, black inside. Truffle number 2, the black autumn, mid brown inside. And truffle number 3, the black summer scorzone, light brown. Okay, the price of the black winter could arrive to cost 1,200 euro per kilos. I finished the 6th question. We ran too much? No, we are on time. We'll be honored.
Do you guys have any other questions, or you just want to see the dogs?
Oh my God. You see them?
Yes.
3 years old.
Oh,
Say bye-bye. This is my new second expert dog. Very cute and intelligent little female. Bella. Eda, she's in the garden. Sorry, I cannot bring. She's old. They are Lagotti Romagnoli, parent of the Portuguese water dog, mixed with a Toscan hunter dog. And they are the best hunter dog because they love to eat truffles more than all the other dogs. And this is Eda. You remember the first dog?
yes, Eda.
Now 15 years old.
Bella.
Bella, sì. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the truffle conversation. Guys, be careful that to become a truffle expert is not enough have participated in this class. Read. Buy book. You live in the country that have the number of books edited every years by Infinity Editor. Select your best idea of book. Try to not be sure to know all. Every single day that we live, we must learn something more. It's very important. Listen, whatever is all around us, and be able to accept it, any eventual opinion completely opposite to ours. This helps us to enlarge our mind and continue to be focused in cooking class with Laura. That help a lot.
Thank you. Grazie mille, Giulio.
Ciao.
All right, guys, you can say goodbye, you can say arrivederci, or you can say, as we say to our friends, ciao, ciao.
Ciao,
Peace
ciao.
out. Arrivederci.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao belli, ciao. Buon tartufi a tutti.